Hey, it's Michael Angelo Caruso. Welcome back to the Leader in You playlist here on YouTube. Now, if you were with us last time, you know that we talked about what to do if your team is not talented. This was episode 5. Today, in episode 6, we're going to be talking about something called the job description and how it's probably working against you if you are a supervisor, manager, or leader of any kind where people are reporting to you. I mean, let's face it, you often inherit the job description and now you're the enforcer of a document that you didn't even create, a document that contains phrases like answer the telephone and smile when greeting the customer. They're not, these mandates aren't very specific, and it makes it hard for the employee to actually interpret them in a way that is useful to the team. And so I'm going to show you what to do about this. Don't forget that job descriptions often don't involve the employee any more than they involve the manager. The job description is thrust upon the employee and either do it or be fired. It's kind of the message that we send. So I want to introduce to you today a new way of thinking about the job description, and it's called the job expectation. I write about it in my book, Work Hacks. And I'll lay it out for you here in great detail so that you can actually put it to work in your place of business. When you reframe job descriptions as job expectations, a lot of things change. Let's start with the basic example that while employees are not involved with the job description, they are most certainly involved with the job expectation. In fact, the manager, you, actually sits down with the employee and creates the job expectation using the job description as a guideline. For example, again, the job description says answer the ringing telephone, but the job expectation comes about as a result of a conversation between the manager and the employee. What does that mean to answer the ringing telephone? Should we have an agreement on what a reasonable expectation in terms of the number of rings might be? And before you know it, the job expectations really clears up what's expected. You would answer the telephone within 2 rings. You see, there's a big difference between answering the phone within 2 rings and whenever you can get to the telephone. Same thing with the example about smile when you greet the customer. If the customer is stepping into a queue, let's say it's a bank or a credit union, the employee could reasonably look up and smile and say, I'll be right with you. Or they could ignore the customer, which we know is not a good idea. So answering or responding to the customer within 30 seconds, right? And we know retail establishments that mandate in their job expectations that the employee would greet the customer within 30 feet. So there's a spatial, S-P-A-T-I-A-L, relationship in the job expectation, a specific expectation that everybody is on board for. So this is pretty cool. Job expectations, unlike job descriptions, are created with the employee, and they're very specific. So you put a copy of the job expectation in the personnel file, in the personnel record, and then you put it in there as a working document, right? Because change happens, and we just, again, expect that this list of expectations would adjust from time to time. Now, union shops and government employers may insist that such notes are purged within 30 days, but that's fine because the manager at this point has now had that specific conversation with the employee about expectations. What you can do now is use those expectations to hold the employee accountable at magic moments like the performance evaluation. So, the ultimate goal is to link the job expectations to the performance review and then reward the employee based on how they honored that agreement. One easy way to do that is just to say you'll be rewarded by being able to keep your job, but if you want to reward in other ways, of course, you can do that as well. So I hope this is helping you understand there's a big difference between how you position job descriptions versus job expectations, that the job expectations actually involve the customer, which is in this case the employee, and they're thinking about exactly what you want them to do, because I think most employees do want to comply. I hope you can tune in next time. On our next video, episode 7, we're going to talk about how job why performance reviews may be working against you. My name is Michael Angelo Caruso. Subscribe to this channel if you want more leadership tips. We'll see you next time.